Okay, what are the questions? Let's get into it.
Big Basket Now presents RCB Bold Diaries.
Well, let's just check the list of players you've put in, Freddie.
Livingston, Brook, Miller, Stoinis, David, Bethel, Ferreira, Rodman, Powell.
No, so go back to depth 2. Let's deal with the task in hand. This is to bat at 5.
The problem is a lot of these guys haven't batted at 5 in IPL, so you have to query accordingly to get what insights we want on them.
It says the number 5 there places on average 15 balls, but you're obviously wanting him to place more than that. It's not a 15-ball innings we're expecting from our number 5.
No, they need to be capable of more. You're down to Livy, Miller, Stoinis.
It's for me at number 5, it's one of the most pivotal positions in the batting order because either they come in when there's a collapse or they have to take the team home. So I don't think we should compromise in any front. My choice, number 1 would be Livingston. Number 2, Marcus Stoinis. Number 3, Harry Brook. Number 4, David Miller. And then I'll have Jacob Bethel.
Livingston, Miller, Stoinis, Brook, Bethel, Curran, Phillips, Ferreira. Livingston number 1 because I think, a bit like my question on Jax yesterday, I think his good day is a very good day. I like the upside.
So aggregated wise, it looks like Livy gets 3 votes for 1. Stoinis is probably number 2. Then it's probably a combination of Brook v Miller.
Our team irukku, Livingston irukku.
Stoinis is good. Stoinis also.
Stoinis also. Bethel vandurum.
I would encourage you all then to, don't spend high on that overseas opener. Keep that cheap. Get a Livingston. So we are assured.
Livingston could be right to match.
Get him to a place where we have slotted a big.
Why? What is
because
that?
he'll give you those 2 overs in between if you want.
Yeah,
on games.
But you still get that from Jax.
You get it from Jax as well, don't you?
Oh, okay. Jax, just that Livingston can do both, and hence I said Livingston.
What do you mean both?
Yeah.
Leg spin and off spin.
But when you have UC, you don't need the leg spin. You do not need the leg spin.
No, but it's not about needing a leg spin. If there's 2 right-handers batting, he can at least go away from the right-hander.
He can bowl to anybody.
It's a much better option.
बस यही बोलना है, यही तुम्हारा ऐड?
Yeah, that's it.
सही है यार. Now delivering in 10 minutes.
What do I think of Bethel? He's incredibly impressive in terms of how he sort of prepares, how he holds himself, his sort of self-assurance, his confidence seem well beyond his years.
Speaking to intelligence, is that right?
And can I give an opinion on Bethel so far that I have seen and I have commentated? I think he's a talent. He is still learning this format. He'd be a punt you take and you hope that he'll be coming good in years 2 and 3. The good part is gun fielder and can give you decent amounts with the ball.
I think he's going to be, after Harry Brook, England's next superstar all-format player. I think his game's rounded enough and I think he'll play all formats. He's an exceptional character. He's a very, very good fielder as well. Like a super fielder. And I think his bowling's very handy. Look, I think it's a very strong package. I've known him since he was 14, 15. I've seen very little failure. And he definitely carries himself character-wise way ahead of his years.
Okay, so just first up I put, this is the players on the list in the IPL, just so we're starting at that point, and ordered by strike rate, batting at number 6 and 7.
And that 6 and 7 is replacing DK. So that has to be strong enough to.
So, but okay, we'll get there. I will put in the better get out or compromise somewhere. We have to be
Where don't hurt us, you need to check that.
Yeah.
everywhere. It will hurt in different things.
So Jitesh is the best.
Jitesh.
Just write these down first for me, Freddie. Jitesh, Samad, Wadira, Manohar and Lomrel. They're the ones that we had a sample of data for us to actually assess. I think we get to those, Andy, but there's no data to judge them by.
But why should we only be ranking on data?
No, I'm not. I'm starting with this. That's what I'm saying.
Jitesh Sharma, why I would pick him and pay that money is even if he's not been not out, the one thing that he has done is create a massive impact before he gets out.
I'm comfortable with that ranking.
My proposal is, if we've missed KL and 𝗘𝗃𝗃, I'm bidding for Salt if he comes next, and I'm bidding for 𝗖ście Kishan if he comes next.
And then there is a pivot that is important.
Yeah,
if we get a 𝗖ście Kishan, there's a pivot.
Correct. And then if I get Kishan, I'm pivoting because I can do something else with my overseas. But I'm accepting I've got a really good opening batter that can also take the gloves.
One question. For example, if you already have a keeper, for example, RCB already has a keeper, will you go big for another keeper batsman, or you will just prioritize a batsman who can bat?
If they're a batter that's a gun batter that also keeps, you might still get them as a batter. So we might get Salt or Buttler and 𝗘𝗃𝗃. We might, because they're worth it as batters.
Yeah, 2-minute break, please.
Because Andy, you've probably got another 40 minutes, is that right?
Yes, mate.
Because Andy's got to go to the airport. So
Yeah, 40 minutes max.
Why is Andy going to the airport?
he's coming in.
I'm excited about 7. That's my spot. And I think you should put Tim David / Romario. It's a great chance we can get Tim David.
Should we set our strategy to get
Tim David.
Tim David? In
So
which
flip the
case,
numbers,
you
flip the
almost
numbers.
flip the numbers.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I feel that's a very risky
Risky, very risky it is. Correct.
Tell me why I don't
sitting
see
it
it.
for someone
Yeah.
so late.
Yeah, we can't.
When you don't know who's going to have what money and who has him as his target. By chance, if he goes beyond that, we can't go back and pick players.
No, we can't wait.
And we should be happy in our minds with Romario. If we get, if whatever savings we do, we keep adding that pot to Tim David. We get that, fine. But Romario comes much ahead, so that is a decision for sure.
Romario is the same set as
So
David.
that's same set as David.
Yeah.
Nice. Ideally, we want David to come first before Romario.
If we get David, we don't have the fourth seamer. And a really ballsy, just to play this out, a really ballsy version of that plan
And Jax is also there.
would be to not go for Miller and Brewer, and then you go for David hard, and then get Bethel.
Or
So-
you can get David and Romario Shepherd. You keep enough money to keep both of them at that end. That is also a strategy.
Question about this role.
No, it's the right question. But go for it. I know what you're going to ask.
Is the importance we're placing on this role because of the value of the batting depth? So the fact that we have someone at number 8 that we feel can bat? Or is it the fact that we want a gun left arm spinner who we can rely on for 4 overs most of the time? Or is it a combination of the both? And I think it's important we understand that, because at the moment we're allocating a lot of money to this role and we're placing a lot of importance on this role, because I would say 𝗘𝗏𝗃 seems to be the only player who can fulfill both. He gives us depth and he gives us gun left arm spin.
He's got a lot of batting experience. He can put on partnerships at number 8. Okay? These guys have less experience and less confidence because I just haven't had the exposure in IPL.
But his economy is still excellent. He hasn't shown a drop-off in his ability to defend. And therefore, partnered with a wrist spinner could be quite a good combination.
Throughout his career, he's been at 7s or just below 8. And he played in Wankhede for a start. Because there's no question, everybody agrees that 𝗘𝗏𝗃 and 𝗖ście is the ideal pairing.
Yes.
There's no question.
That's the question. And we think we're going to get one of them. We should be able to get one of them financially.
Who?
𝗘𝗏𝗃 or 𝗖ście. We should get one of them. If it went the other way around, that we got 𝗘𝗏𝗃 and not 𝗖ście,
Suyash.
We get Suyash.
and that's okay.
And we get 𝗘𝗏𝗃 and Suyash.
Yeah, 𝗘𝗏𝗃 and Suyash. Yeah. You're saying if 𝗘𝗏𝗃's not there, we should go for an overseas spinner.
What happens if you pick a Suyash also? We can always only bowl him 2 overs if you have 𝗘𝗏𝗃 and say somebody like a Livingston or a Jax or whatever. That 2 overs can be made up there. But with the batting, you can't make up with anybody. This is the most likely kind of team that we'll end up with. The most factual and the closest team that we get. The rest is a wish list. That 5. You will realize as the auction progresses, certain players will go and we end up changing. Obviously, we'll go through our depth charts. But most likely, we can aim for this and there's a good chance we'll land on it because we are allocating money in a strong way for the bowlers, which will make it look good, and the top order.
Big Basket Now presents RCB Bold Diaries.